try so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back.
Welcome. We're back. All the game 4s are done. And It looks like we're going to have some game 5s. And Miami, Boston is 2-2. Last night, Dallas avoided the sweep. They going back to Oracle. We're going to see how that goes. But yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lou, and we back here with another banger for y'all. So instead of the recaps today, my good old buddy, good old pal Jay Lou, he posted on his Instagram the other day. He said, "Give me y'all hot takes." And y'all gave some good ones. I ain't gonna lie, y'all gave some good ones. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna dive into each one. So
Yes,
Jay Lou,
sir.
go ahead, take
Like
us.
you said, we talked about the playoffs last video. I mean, the conference finals almost over. 3-1 in the West and 2-2 in a competitive Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll be back shortly after those series are done. But for right now, yes, y'all gave me some very interesting takes. Obviously on my Instagram in the description, follow if your take wants to be in the next video, hopefully. So let's just get right on into it. First one I got. Now, at first when I read this, I said, I don't know. This is kind of blasphemous to think about. But first take is Tatum is not top 3 player left in the conference finals. Now, looking at the stats, obviously conference finals, Tatum is shooting. It's all right. 27% from 3, though. That dropped from the regular season. Has 24 points per game, rebounding around 7, getting 5 assists. So, I mean, it's all right. But he is averaging almost 5 turnovers this conference finals, which is the most out of any player left in the conference finals. Me personally, Luka ahead of him, sitting at 33 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block in this conference finals. Shooting 38% from 3 and 43% from the field. Going against, obviously, a great Warriors team. Almost, it looks like by himself, obviously. That's what people say. But he got him there. That's the best that's all you got to do. Just win and survive. That's what he's doing. I got him. Tatum. Got Steph Curry ahead of Tatum as well. Curry's averaging around 26, shooting 48% and 47% in the conference finals from 3. And he's grabbing almost 8 rebounds a game. He did have 12 rebounds one game, 7 assists, and almost 3 turnovers a game. That's not bad numbers. I like those numbers. Obviously, they're leading the wins. They're up 3-1 right now. So I think Curry is ahead of Tatum in that aspect. Now this is where it gets tricky. I have it between Butler and Brown, who could overtake Tatum for the conference finals. Obviously, with Jimmy Butler, he did miss the second half of Game 3 in Boston, and they were able to pull out a win without him. And on the series, though, he's averaging 21, almost 50% from the field, shooting 14% from 3, not really a shooter anyways. He's grabbing around 6 rebounds and dishing 3 assists. So this conference finals, I think Tatum has been playing better than him in this matchup. So I have Tatum over Butler right now in the series. Obviously, the series isn't over. Still got plenty more games to go. But now it really comes down to Brown and Tatum. Brown averages 1 more point than Tatum at 25. He's shooting 2% better, 47%, shooting 40% from three. He just had 40 game 3 they lost.
Yeah.
And he's pulling down almost 8.5 rebounds with 2 assists. So if we're speaking right now, my boy Avery is, I think I agree with him. I think Jaylen Brown is stepping his game up, especially on the offensive end. Tatum, he's really struggling, obviously, to create his own for himself and then for his teammates. Obviously, I talked about the 5 turnovers. So I
Right.
will agree with his take saying Tatum is just outside top 3.
Yeah. If you were to tell me overall, I would say yeah, because overall I'd say Luka, Giannis. There's a couple people, but if we're talking in the playoffs right now, Luka and Steph, that's a gimme. That's obviously. But those 2 games, or the half Jimmy missed, and then game 4 hurt his case. Even though game 3 he was on pace to have a good game, he was on pace to have another great game. But he sat out the second half, unfortunately. And I would put Jimmy over Tatum just because of the defensive side. But like I said, those 2 games hurt him. But I believe Jaylen Brown also is the third. I think Jaylen Brown is outperforming Jayson Tatum. I just think that. Last game, Jayson Tatum had 31. Okay, yeah, but half his points were free throws. Like literally, he shot 14 for 16 from the line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't want to say it was kind of a bailout, but you know, you let a struggling Miami Heat team score more field goals than you guys. You let them shoot better from 3, but you won by 20. And you shot 26, I believe, more free throws than them. 24 more free throws than them. I mean, hey, that's a story for another time. But yeah, right now I think Jayson Tatum is at that 4th spot. Jaylen Brown is outplaying him. So that's not a hot take. That's spicy. That is spicy.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
Moving on to the next one. This one's interesting as well, obviously. Playoffs are kind of average. Obviously, there are some key players missing, like LeBron. He didn't make the playoffs. Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Kawhi, Leonard, and a bunch of other athletes did not make the playoffs. Notable names. So if you want to, based off me, if you want to go by the numbers, like television ratings and whatnot, technically you're wrong because the Warriors, the Boston Celtics Brooklyn series gained almost 8 million by itself, and that was obviously a sweep. Boston won, but obviously they did have notable players like KD and Kyrie, so
Yeah.
obviously it was going to be watched. And moving forward, moving forward to the second round, the ratings steadily obviously wouldn't be the same after some people's favorite players dropped. And I don't have obviously the finals ratings won't come out yet till after the finals. So we'll see then. But me personally, I kind of do miss LeBron in the playoffs. And I'm not even a LeBron fan personally. I like Kevin Durant. And obviously my teams are not going to be in the playoffs, and that's the Thunder. So I mean, without those 2 aspects right now, I do miss like the narrative on Braun because obviously LeBron is box office and will generate a lot of attention to the NBA. But I think compared to the last time he was probably relevant in the playoffs was 2018 when he made the finals with or 2020. Well, the bubble. I don't know. The bubble was all right to me.
Bubble was not that bad.
I didn't really watch the bubble like that, to be fair. But the last
The
time
bubble wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
he was relevant to me. It was like 2018 when they made the finals with the Cavs. But the playoffs right now, I think you're starting to see a lot of the new generation, and I think that's why people can say, "Oh, it is average in general." But I think it's going to be great because obviously age is catching up with Braun. He's going to be 38 playing next season. Chris Paul obviously just turned 37. Melo, he's what, 36, 37.
Yeah.
So a lot of the 2000 guys are running out of time. And I think it's nice to see the young guns go out there like Jayson Tatum, Luka, obviously still in the playoffs. So I think the playoffs right now have taken a step back, but I think it's for the greater good.
Um, I agree, but I don't agree. I think the playoffs is not mid, but I think people are only saying that because one, you could say the best team, whatever, isn't in as far as the Lakers, the Nets, whatever. But and then you got your people who's gonna say injuries. I can understand injuries, but injuries is a part of the game. And like you said, the young guys, I've been saying it for a good while. It's the young guys' turn. Jayson Tatum, John Morant, Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker. It's that Luka. He's in the Western Conference Finals. Everybody's there. You're not going to see LeBron in the finals. You're not going to see. You're probably not going to see Kevin Durant back in the finals. You're probably not going to see these people back. It's Giannis. It's a Giannis league now. It's a Giannis league. So I think when people start to realize that our guys that we grew up watching are getting up there, and this new generation is tough. Like I don't think skill wise, athleticism, and all of that, this new generation could probably wipe the old one, the one that we grew up on, as far as athleticism,
Interesting.
skill, like they'll probably bring in the views. Your boy Jalen Green, he can. He's tough. He's tough. So I feel like when people start to realize the new guys is starting to take over, then they're gonna be like, okay, this ain't mid. This is tough. This is tough. Because me, I enjoyed watching the Grizzlies Warriors. Granted, John Morant got hurt. I think that series could have went to 7 games. I think that series could have went to 7 games. I like the Mavs and Suns. Mavs, Luca is the underdog. Reminds me of back in 2011. That's the 2011 with Dirk. They was the underdog. Now, do I see them coming back 03? Okay, that's crazy. But I did see some Luca in elimination games. He may go out, but he gonna go out fighting. He gonna go out
Right.
fighting. But I don't think it's mid. I just think people are just stuck in the past. That's what I think. But I this playoffs is really good. Granted, injuries did kind of like throw it off a little bit, but I think the playoffs is good.
Yeah. Yep. That's that. With that, going on to the third one. This one's kind of interesting too. So this person says Dallas is going to be a top free agent priority destination coming soon in the future. So obviously we talked about the average shit. Um, he's going to need a second superstar to get him over the edge. In my opinion,
Yep.
I don't think they'll be able to beat any best team without a second superstar as of right now. Uh, Looking at the roster situation, money's really tied up between obviously Luca signed the super max, $212 million over 5 years. Davis Bertans has a hefty contract, 5 years, 80 mil. Tim Hardaway, who's injured right now, 4 years, 75 mil. And then you have Finney Smith, 4 years, 55 mil. And then the role players start, boosting out the roster. You still can, though. You still can go sign a big free agent. Probably not the biggest, out there, say if what's his name? Say if Bradley Beal opted out or Anthony Davis, even though he's probably not.
DeAndre Ayton?
No, that would not help him. Saw what happened in that series. He quit on them. He's gonna quit on Luka. Now, if you're talking about my Thunder, though.
Oh, jeez.
Him and Chet in the future, I don't know. That'd be tough. But staying on topic, I think needs a forward who can take pressure off him and put the ball on the floor. Someone like a PG or Kawhi would be nice, but obviously they're not leaving. Jimmy Butler type player, type esque. Someone who can put the ball on the floor, really get their own shot, and obviously can play defense. So, looking at the free agents, not really the best class. Zach LaVine's thinking about opting out, maybe leaving Chicago. I don't think him and Luka would be the best fit. I think the Mavs really need more defense. Honestly, I don't think their big man's that bad. You bought DeAndre Ayton. I don't think you should pay him the max over guys Cleveland can shoot really good. Dwight Powell has good games here and there. So I think their big men are solid. Unless they draft a prototype big man who can play defense and is athletic, like a Jackson Hayes down in Pelicans. I don't think they should really pay a lot for big men in the market. So it's going to be interesting. I know Mark Cuban definitely is willing to spend his money, obviously, to get a ring. So I think going forward, people will want to play with Luka. He's only 23, and he's already in the Western Conference Finals. So I agree. I think Dallas will be top destination in the future.
Yeah, 100% is going to be a destination because, like you said, he's young. He's averaging 30, and he's in the Western Conference Finals with not a solid second option. Tim Hardaway, he's still out, right?
Yeah, he's injured.
Yeah, so get him a second option. But my thing is, I don't think this is going to be an Atlanta Hawks situation. Last year, they made the Eastern Conference Finals, and I still don't think they're a destination, a free agency destination. But Dallas, better team. Luka's better than Trey. I don't know. It's just something about Dallas. It's just something about
nice
Dallas.
City.
It is a nice city. It's just something about Dallas. It could bring somebody there. And then you got, it's like, I don't know. If it was up to me, I'd play with Luka over Trey in a heartbeat. I'd play with Luka over Trey. So Luka is definitely going to draw some guys over there with him. Like you brought up Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell, he's on the board. Or he may be on the board. DeAndre Ayton, he's going to be a free agency. But I'd probably not. I don't know. Rudy Gobert, he's probably going to be on the board. So you got some options. You got some options. It just depends on what you do. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If Dallas gets Rudy Gobert, somehow, some way, they're a contender. They may win the West. They may win the West if they get Rudy Gobert. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Speaking of Rudy Gobert.
But yeah.
Shout out Rudy. All right. Next one we have from a Boston Celtics fan. Thanks to Celtics winning it all. And obviously I had them beating the Heat. I had them beating them in 7. I'm pretty sure. No, I said 6. They won game 5. them winning in 6. Tyler Hero is out with a groin injury. That's one of their key bench players. Wasn't really playing that good in the series though, but it's forcing them to start players like Duncan, who's really not the best defender. Neither was Hero, but he's not also a dude who can get the ball on the floor. Oladipo is playing really well though, so that is a plus for Miami. They're gonna definitely need him to step up with Tyler Hero out. If they win this series, obviously I'm 99% sure the Warriors are gonna win. So they'll be facing a very lethal offense. They got guards. I'm pretty sure Marcus Smart would be on Curry, and Tatum maybe could get some looks sometimes. They definitely have the ability to switch with Golden State. They can run the small ball with Draymond. The Boston Celtics can defend the small ball from the Warriors with Draymond, Al Horford, very versatile defender. Robert Williams can get rebounds. It's not out the picture they can beat Golden State. I just think Golden State's method is to tire teams out. And I think with Boston's injuries, Robert Williams' knee, Marcus Smart's foot, Curry's running 100 miles per game and whatnot. Klay Thompson's getting open, Jordan Poole, Draymond facilitating them. They're just really fast team. And Wiggins is playing really good this series as well. He's starting to step it up. So it's going to be tough to win. If I had to give him a chance, I would probably give him a 15% chance. I really like the Warriors winning it, like I said, before the playoffs start. But it's definitely not one of the hottest takes, but it's steaming. I can see it.
I don't see it. I don't see them getting out of this series. And if they do get out of this series, I do think they lose to the Warriors. I think they lose to the Warriors. And yeah, I mean, this series, I don't want to get too deep into game 3 and 4, but the free throw difference in both games was 68-28. They shot 40 more free throws than us in 2 games. But I'm not going to get into that because game 4, there's no excuse to how we played or how we started off the game. No excuse at all. But free throws do play a difference. But the thing is, I've been saying this for weeks. Jaylen, and it's showing. When Jaylen Brown's on, Jayson Tatum's off. When Jayson Tatum's on, Jaylen Brown is off. It's one or the other. But they're not going to both be good at the same time. It's just not going to happen. So that's where the role players come in. If the role players are on, they're on. If they're off, they're off. But that's with everybody. But if you're 2 stars, I need my 2 stars to be consistent, to just be consistent. That's all I need. Game 1. Jayson Tatum came out firing. I ain't seen none from Jaylen Brown. Jayson Tatum had 21 in the first half. Second half went cold. Then it was the Jaylen Brown show in the second half. Game 2, I didn't really pay attention to game 2 because I was working. So I was at work, so I couldn't really see it. Game 3, the Jaylen Brown show. Jayson Tatum only had 10 points. Last game, Jayson Tatum, he had 30. Jaylen Brown, he was cold the whole game up until the fourth quarter. It's an inconsistency thing. One is gonna go crazy while the other one is gonna be cold. I think that's gonna be what holds them from the championship. The inconsistency play of their superstars. So I don't think they won. I just don't see it.
Okay. All right. Next one we have is kind of a simple one, but someone said the Grizzlies would win it all if they were healthy. Now, granted, they massacred the Warriors without Ja Morant as soon as he went. No, it wasn't as soon, but the second game after he went down, They won. And then the Warriors finished them off in Game 6. Klay Thompson had, I think, 33 that game. Obviously, Game 6, Klay is a real thing. Grizzlies had I'm pretty sure like a 75, 78 win percentage without Ja Morant in the lineup. So, they can obviously win without him. I think I talked about this in other videos that their defensive rating is very impressive without him. I think it goes up by +5 or something, and that's because they can do more things. They can get more players out there on the floor, really play that Memphis team basketball. Obviously, John Morant's a good player and all, great player. They need him to win. They need him to win. Obviously, like going forward in the future. But even without him, they still have that grit and grind mentality, like we saw in the playoffs and during the regular season as well, when he missed time due to his ankle injury, foot injury. But it's just this year they were gonna run. I think Miami or Boston beats Memphis because one their team defenses are better. I mean, Memphis has Jaren Jackson, arguably. I think he made all defensive first team maybe. But outside of him, going against in Boston, DPOY, Marcus Smart. Tatum's defense has gotten really good. Jaylen Brown always been a solid defender. Horford and Robert Williams, I talked about earlier, are great defenders. So it would have been really tough. And they would have definitely honed in on John Morant in Boston. Obviously, Udoka is a great defensive coach. If he's able to stop, penetration from Kyrie and KD for a series, he's definitely going to stop a penetration from John Morant. It's just how it is. And then moving on to Miami, obviously more experience. Eric Spoelstra, Miami's culture, defensive oriented. Got Bam, another big man who can switch on picks with Ja, PJ Tucker, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. Max Strus is becoming a good defender. So I think it would have been tough for the Grizzlies to beat either teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone they did have the Warriors at some games, on the rope. I know Ja Morant, he didn't say this, but he did agree to someone saying this, that the Grizz would win it all if they were helping. I mean, why wouldn't he? He plays for the Grizzlies. But I think it would have been interesting, him versus Luka. I think that would have been a fun matchup as well. But I still see the Grizzlies losing to either Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I can see that too. Because they got Memphis as that one defensive guy. I mean, it's like you said, as a collective, Boston and Miami are just better defensively. As a collective. John Morant, he can go out, he can get you 30. Thing is, though, John Morant has not played somebody, a point guard of real defense, or somebody that could really get on him. That makes
Patrick
sense.
Beverly?
No.
No. Pat Bev?
Patrick Beverly, I don't think he's great defensively. I think he can just annoy you. Because he was still out there going for 30. Put Marcus Smart on him. I ain't gonna say Kyle Lowry, but but Kyle Lowry could put a body on him because of the size difference. You could put Jimmy on him, put Jayson Tatum on him, put I don't know. There's just so many teams. There's just so many guys. If he plays Boston, Al Horford and Robert Williams is sending that. You got to shoot. You got to shoot on us. Because I learned that firsthand. I didn't think I've heard. I don't really watch the Celtics. So when people are like, "Oh, we don't have Robert Williams," I'm like, I really don't think it's gonna be that big of a difference. I saw game 1, we won. Game 2, it was a whole different thing. When he came back, I was like, "Yo, they needed him bad. Him and Al Horford, they needed them bad together."
Mm-hmm.
So, not game 2, game 3, right? Because he played game 2. Game 3 when he came, when he was out. I was like, yeah, bro, they need that. They needed that. It was Al Horford. When he came back, I was like, dang. Ooh, that's tough. But you can make it. I don't know. Like I said, I think it goes to 7, but I still think Warriors go out on top. So I don't think they make it to the finals if they were healthy. So
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Next, moving on is honestly, I disagree cold-heartedly with this. It's Luka puts up empty stats.
no,
Now, all
no.
I really have to say is this. I'm pretty sure you've seen it on Twitter. Against the Suns, he outscored Devin Booker, top
Yep,
5 MVP candidate,
yep,
out assist the point guard, Chris
yep,
Paul, and out rebounded their center,
yep.
and had more steals than Defensive Player of the Year candidate Mikal Bridges.
Still
that
says a lot. Still
doesn't
says a lot.
say what it really did to go past Phoenix in a 7-game tight series. Then I don't know what else to say. Obviously,
Yeah,
against the Jazz, he did miss the first 2 games, but Jazz were the Jazz. They lost anyways.
literally.
So, like I said, I really don't gotta say much more. That Sun series was kind of crazy. This series he's putting up, I think I said it earlier, he's putting up 33 right now, almost 2 steals a game, almost 10 rebounds. He has 9, and he's shooting, like I said, 43% field, 38% from 3. So I don't know what to tell you about that, brother.
Yeah, that was bad. I ain't gonna lie. That's cold. That's ice cold. Jeez. But yeah, I really have nothing to
Yeah,
say about that. That's just cold. That's just cold.
the coldest takes maybe.
Oof.
All right, moving on to the last one. Honestly, I think this one probably the most interesting hot take. Jimmy Butler's Miami Heat run right now will be better and remembered more than LeBron James and D Wade's Miami run in 2013 and 2012. Now, I had to go take a trip back in time. The 2012 season, 66 and 16, finished first in the East, obviously. And the first round swept the Bucks with Monte Ellis and I mean, they didn't really have anybody. They beat the Bulls. This was a season after D Rose got hurt, so he was still coming off that injury. Beat a very good. Oh, this is 2012, 2013. My bad. They beat the Pacers with Paul George emerging here, so they could have easily lost that series. Then the finals. Oh my! I mean, one of the most memorable shots, Ray Allen, Game 6 against the
Mhm.
Spurs. And
Yeah.
LeBron during this playoff run, he averaged 27, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, almost 2 steals, shooting 40% from 3, 57% from the field. That's just crazy numbers. And Wade, he put up 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 52% from the field. So, I mean, both of them played really good in that second championship run. And for the 2011-2012 run, they beat, I'm pretty sure first round, they beat the Knicks. That was the team with Melo. They beat them in
Right.
5. So, granted, this was the lockout season, 46 and 20 as the first seed. And then they beat the Pacers. This was the year before Paul George really got really good. And he only averaged 10 points this series. And then they beat the Boston Celtics with the big 3, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. Granted, Rondo was playing good as well. They just didn't have Kendrick Perkins anymore. Obviously,
Yep.
we had him, OKC. This was also a memorable series. This was Game 6, Braun. when he dropped, I think it was 42 on the Celtics, and they ended up beating them in 7 after being down 3-2. So that's also a memorable series for his career. And then they went on to win the finals against OKC. Very young team, but very good, talented team as well. In this series, LeBron almost averaged basically the same numbers, minus 2 assists, so 27, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 53%, 36% from 3. And Wade, this series, this season, playoffs, he averaged 22, 5, basically 5, and shot 50% from the field. Now, comparing this, I think the 2013 run was better than 2011, 2012 run. Obviously, I felt like, the lockout did play a little bit of a role, but still, LeBron was able to use the motivation after losing to the Maverick series to really guide this playoff run. And then 2011, 2012, 2013, it was just him having fun. I think he won MVP that year as well. They beat, like I said, really talented teams with the Bulls, Pacers, and the Spurs. So compared to now, Miami, I'm gonna disagree with this take. I don't think Jimmy Butler's run, if they win the finals this year, will be more remembered than the 2013 run. Maybe the 2012 run, that can be an argument. Even though Game 6 against Boston is probably one of LeBron's biggest games ever, I can still see Jimmy Butler's run now being better than that. Jimmy Butler is, I think he was one of the leaders in points separation from regular season to playoffs. I think he's averaging 7, 8 more points this playoffs than he was in the regular season, which is crazy. So he's definitely a playoff performer, obviously. But the Heat, they played the Hawks first round. They really only had one player. John Collins came back hobbled. They made a dumb trade. They got rid of another scoring Cam Reddish. DeAndre Hunter did play well. Granted, they were leaving him open some games. And Clint Capella was also injury riddled. So it was really easy to hone in on Trae Young, obviously being a smaller guard. He playing physical defense. It did bother him a lot. So easily beat the Hawks. Going forward, they beat the Sixers. I said it myself. Joel Embiid was playing on broken legs, broken face. He was just beat up by then. And Harden, well, we know what Harden did. He didn't do anything to help his legacy at all. And Maxey did play good, though. So it was a collective effort. I think they lost in, 5? Was it 5 or 6? I think it was 5.
5. Wait. You talking about Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, 6.
6.
Yeah.
So, I still think going against the Spurs, the Pacers back then, Paul George, whatever was playing good, David West, Danny Granger, George Hill. That team was very solid back then. I think LeBron's 2013 run, capping off with that finals, even if he make the finals and beat the Warriors, I think beating the Warriors be great for his legacy, just the Warriors. But the run itself, I have to give the 2012, 2013 Wade and Braun roster. I think that one will still be remembered more than Jimmy Butler's.
Okay. As a Heat fan, I had to think about this. And I agree. Because of the expectations. We had LeBron. We had D-Wade. We had Chris Bosh. We had them guys. We were expected to win. We were expected to beat Dirk. We were expected to beat y'all in 2012. We were expected to do all these things. This year's Heat team is probably the most overlooked number 1 seed, I think, of all time. People trying
all
to say
time.
we the most overrated one seed of all time. You forgot the Atlanta Hawks in 2015 when LeBron mopped the floor with them? Man, listen. I agree with this because we don't have a quote unquote superstar, apparently. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. And every series, people doubted us. We got up 3-0, and then nobody talked about it. Atlanta wins one game, and I couldn't stop seeing it on my social media. Oh, Trae Young this, Trae Young that, Trae Young game winner. All I see in the comments, oh, y'all done messed up now. Trae Young, he better come back. They better win Hawks in 7. I'm thinking like, bro, really? Be real with yourself. We won in 5. We go to Philly. Joel Embiid's out. Oh, they got a cakewalk. Kyle Lowry's not playing. Did you forget about him? You forgot about Kyle Lowry? But Kyle Lowry apparently doesn't matter, right? It's only Joel Embiid because, he's an MVP. He's an MVP candidate, right? Okay, so any injury we have just doesn't matter because nobody's MVP on our side, right? So we win game 1 and 2. Embiid comes back. They win game 3 and 4. All I see, oh yeah, it sucked. Sixers and 6. Oh yeah, we gonna win 4 straight. This and that. Come on now, bro. Come on now, bro. We won game 1 and 2. I see nothing. Game 3 and 4, I didn't stop seeing it. James Harden turned back the clock. James Harden's back. Oh my gosh, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Danny Green turned back the clock. No, nobody talking about us. This series, people thought they was going to sweep us. They thought they was going to sweep or gentlemen sweep. Oh, Marcus Smart hurt. This, and that. We still don't have Kyle Lowry, by the way. Still don't have him. Now Tyler Hero's gone. Jimmy Butler's dealing with injuries. Oh, but that don't matter because we don't have a superstar. So our injuries don't matter. But Robert Williams matters. Al Horford matters. Marcus Smart matters. Jayson Tatum matters. We're the most overlooked one seed because we don't have a superstar. We just genuinely play well as a team. We just genuinely play well as a team, and people don't like that because we don't have a guy on our squad that people can talk about. And then say we beat Boston. We go and play the Warriors. We probably have a 30% chance to win that series. I bet money on it. I bet money on it because nobody talks. No, when people talk best teams, they talk Miami. They don't want to talk Miami. People talked about a play-in tournament 8th seed Nets more than Miami during the regular season. So for us to come in here being doubted in every single round and win the chip, nobody can say anything on us. We'd probably still be overlooked because you know how they be making power rankings after the season, right? I can guarantee you if we win the finals, I can assure you they're going to have at least 4 teams over us in the power rankings. That's crazy. Hands down, the most disrespected one seed of all time. So if they came up, exceeded all expectations and won, I think this run is better than our old runs because we were expected to do that back then. We're not expected to do that now. So I agree.
Yeah, I mean they gotta win now. That's a big what if.
Gotta win, man.
Y'all
But
gotta
hey,
win.
I think that's gonna wrap up this episode, y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like, man. What do you guys think about these hot takes? Let us know. But hey, next time you see us, it's gonna be the NBA Finals. We're gonna have our finals predictions. So
Mhm.
who's it gonna be? Don't know. We gonna see. Dang that rhyme.
Yes, sir.
But until next time, it's your boys Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.
Molly off the drug. I got purple